Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Hafiza binti Sabri and I'm from the M1A. Today I want to present about if I were a Ministry of Domestic and Trade, how to safely help the trading companies, especially related to the import and export. At this point, import and export are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So first, we have to know what is import and export. Import, the process of receiving or getting any goods from another country for the purpose of trade is known as importation. The supplies may be received by individuals, firm, or the government, and use to process other product or result to end users. In other words, a cross-border purchase of goods or service. For the export, the process of shipping locally manufactured goods from one country to another for potential sales is known as exporting. Export is known to be one of the biggest components of international trade and is part of the criteria for measuring the economic value of a country. In short, a cross-border sales goods or service. Next, how COVID-19 affects the Malaysian economy. Not only are humans suffering from this pandemic, but the economy is also suffering from it, with governments enforcing lockdown or movement control orders (MCO), causing serious economic consequences for the global supply chain, world trades plummeting, financial prices, and unemployment. For this task, the companies that I will choose is Mr. DIY. Mr. DIY Group has grown into Malaysia's largest home improvement retailer with 670 stores in Malaysia and have branch at Thailand, Brunei, Singapore, Indonesia, India, and Cambodia. Mr. DIY offers a wide selection of more than 60,600 types of product at always low price. Back to the question. How to safely help the trading companies. First, enhance remote collaboration and competitiveness by using technology. In their daily activities, many exporters are now using the web-based and smartphone communication and productivity tools. If your company are still familiar with these techniques in an office setting, the transition to remote work would be much smoother. For example, video conferencing. Using a video conferencing app to hold visual meetings is a perfect way to communicate and interact on a deeper level. There are many options for the video conferencing, including Apple FaceTime, Zoom, and Skype. Next, increase company export business contact. Link with the network on the ground in an export market to get a more full view of what's happening in other markets. For example, you will need to know if the pandemic is affecting demand in your target countries for your goods or service. For instance, DIY started as a traditional hardware store in Malaysia back in 2005. Today, it has over 1,250 stores across Southeast Asia, including Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, Brunei, and Cambodia. Next, collaboration with e-commerce. E-commerce is the purchase and sale of goods, service, or material over the internet. The product may be purchased or sold using a laptop, tablet, or handheld computer. Low prices are one of the advantages of e-commerce for consumers. The lower cost of running an e-commerce store versus a physical store translates to cost saving for the consumer. Take one example, which is Mr. DIY launched its dedicated e-commerce website, www.mrdiy.com.my. Order placed through the website are fulfilled through third-party delivery service provider. Mr. DIY intends to expand the store pickup service regions in Malaysia as online sales to residents in such regions increase. This is the website, the Mr. DIY website. Yeah. Next, provide facilities consolidation of shipment. When a carrier or freight firm incorporates several smaller containers into a single complete container, this is called consolidation. Consolidation in theory benefits both the carrier and the shipper. In the case of the carrier, it aids in the reduction of shipping costs and expedited transfer of merchandise. Furthermore, a shipper with a smaller shipment will not be required to pay for a single container shipment. Consolidation allows transporting smaller goods or several pallets from a distant region at favorable price. In times of crisis, this is the right solution. It is also a unique convenience for smaller exporters. The dense network make it possible to combine shipment both within national and international connection. One example is Mr. DIY combines delivery for goods to Singapore and Indonesia in one full container. Last but not least, government export subsidy aims to encourage export of goods and discourage sale of goods in the domestic market through low-cost loans or tax reliefs for exporter, or government finance international advertising or R&D. An export subsidy reduces the price paid by foreign importers, which means domestic consumers pay more than foreign customer. The WTO is World Trade Organization, prohibits fraud. Most subsidies directly linked to the volume of export. Export subsidy affects on the exporting country's producer. Producer in the exporting country experience an increase in well-being as a result of the subsidy. The price increase also include increase in output, employment, an increase in profit payment or both to fixed costs. For example, the our trading companies can export goods to other branches such as branches in Philippines with low tax given export subsidies by the Malaysian government. And the conclusion is Malaysia continues to liberalize its custom regulation and improve the ease of importing and exporting out of the country for the greater of local entrepreneurs. That's all from me, and thank you for your kind attention.